mortgage market? Join us for another episode of FDM Brews to learn more about trends and updates in the mortgage industry that can help you get your clients pre-approved for the home of their dreams.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us for another FDM Brews. My name's Cindy Woolley. I've got Brett, Javier, Jack, Nitesh. We've got the whole FDM team here, and we're talking success today. How's everyone doing?
Good morning.
Great.
Great, Cindy. Thank you.
Right on. So, it's February, right? In January, we did our New Year's resolutions. We've been pushing for some business planning. We've been pushing for, like how to do things a little bit better in business and life, right? And all of that got dropped on the second or third week when we didn't quite make it. But I know with as much caffeine as you guys are intaking that you're not dropping anything. So you tell me there's a step beyond business planning. What's that step beyond business planning?
Cindy, it's very important, right? When you look at any real estate trader, actually any sales professional, they talk about creating your business plan, right? So we believe that's an important component of your plan. Like Ben Franklin said, right? If you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So we believe that you need to have a business plan. We also believe as sales professionals that you need to take the next step. And I call that success planning, right? So there's my business plan, which is great. Who am I marketing to? What's my marketing budget, right? What do I want to achieve? What are my income targets? That's great. But how do you take that now and turn that into a success, right? I would tell you most agents have a great business plan, but how they take that to the next level. And that's what we're really going to talk about today is success planning. How do we create those direct daily activities, right, that are direct action to my consumer to make a difference in the marketplace? And that's what we want to talk about today, right? Business planning into success planning, because they're two very different things.
As a public relations and marketing, consultant, I know people always look at us for a solution. Like, oh, I've got this great business plan. Now push the button and make everything happen. But it takes a little bit more than that. It takes some steps and some implementation, right?
Cindy, it's funny. It takes implementation. It takes commitment. Most importantly, folks, it takes a belief, right? You've got to believe that certain things are going to occur, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that and how to make that work, right? Everybody has a business plan, right? But how do you turn that into a success plan? And that's really what we want to share with everybody today.
Absolutely. Well, sounds interesting.
All right. Well, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Can we see that?
There we go.
All right, so let me change this. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about a success plan, right? We said everybody has a business plan, right? Let's take that to the next level. So Emerald said cooking show. We're going to kick it up a notch and get to the success planning side of it. See, actually, somebody's phone ring. We're going to teach you how to make your phone ring more. Okay. One of the basic comments is this. We talk about this often, and hopefully we do a lot more of these events, right? Success leaves clues, right? It's not hard to understand, right? Downing-Frye has great examples of successful top sales professionals, right? If somebody's successful, maybe I just do what they do, right? So success leaves clues, right? It doesn't matter what the sales profession is. They leave a roadmap. We know what it takes to be successful. What happens, though, is failure sneaks up on you, right? All of a sudden, 3 months from now, you're not selling any houses. And you go, well, what happened, right? So that, boom, failure just snuck up on you. 90 days later, you didn't sell a house. You're going, why, right? So we want to take away the why. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we do that. So the first thing that everybody needs to understand is success is a choice, right, Nitesh?
That's right, Brett. Success is a choice. And you have to ask yourself a few things. What are you doing? And Brett brought up, we've been talking about planning, but then unless you execute that plan, you're not going to be successful. So what do you choose? Do you choose to be successful? And what are you doing about it? It's not easy. It requires a lot of hard work. And whoever's watching this, you have made the first right decision to join Downing-Frye, and then you are watching this. That's your second choice. You're learning. You're choosing to do trainings, to learn and create your own strengths and features that are going to result in success. Everyone needs a team. Use the people around you. Use the management at Downing-Frye. Use your resources. Use your lender partners, us, of course. Use your title company partners. Everyone who's in the industry that can help you become successful. It's choice, not chance, that determines your destiny.
And that's so true, right? So many people wonder why they're not successful. And I can break this down. I've done a lot of training across the country, right? Are you willing to make that first choice? My first choice is I wake up every day and I'm going to choose to be successful, right? There's a concept I use, and we talk about this, right? Am I hanging out in the commission waiting room, right? There's all these things happening. So I'm just in my commission waiting room and I'm not doing things to make a difference. So the first thing you need to do is every day, and I know it sounds hokey, but I'm choosing to be successful because that's my first step. If I'm not doing that, nothing else happens behind that. With that, folks, you have your business plan, but success is also a plan, right, Nitish?
That's right. Well, first of all, do you have one? Right? You can't go into any type of workplace, any industry without a plan and expect to be successful. Do you have that plan? And in our industry, whether it's mortgages or real estate, what is your number? And when we ask that question, folks have a number in mind. Well, I want to make 100,000 or I want to make 200,000, right? So they have a number in mind. Well, that's not really the number you should be focused on. What are you doing to get to that number? How many calls are you making? How many meetings are you taking? How many emails are you sending? How many folks are you reaching out to get the business to make that 100 or 200,000 or 500,000, whatever your goal is? That's the number you should be focused on. Does your business plan include daily action items? What are you doing consistently on a daily basis to get to that success, to fulfill that plan? Do you have a plan for every contact, everyone you're reaching out to, whether it's your business partners, right? We as lenders, we have agents that we reach out to for business. And then we have clients that we reach out to. Every person that we're talking to, do you have a plan for that particular individual? Brett brought this up earlier. If you fail to plan, you are planning to fail.
This is really important, Cindy, because people get misdirected on what their number is. A lot of times when they do their business plan, is Nitish says, I'm going to make 300 grand. Okay, great. That's not your number. Your number is pretty simple. And this is really empowering for salespeople because I can make as much money as your most successful agent in Downing-Frye, right? I can be a new person and I can make that same amount of money. Well, that's impossible. Well, our numbers are just different, right? So here's what your number is. I want to make $300,000. My average commission is X, right? I need to talk to 20 people to get a deal done, but I want to make 300,000. Okay. Well, if I need to talk to 20 people to get a deal done, if I want to make 300,000, then maybe I need to talk to 1,000 people to get that many transactions. So my number is actually 1,000. It's not 300,000. It's 1,000. Now, what's empowering is this. Everybody's number is different. Now, Nitish is a fabulous sales professional, right? He may only need to talk to 10 people to get a deal. Okay. But if I want to make the same amount of money as Nitish does, okay, I talk to 20. I just need to make a commitment to do that. That's my success choice. I'm going to talk to this amount of people. Now, what's really nice about this, just like with anything else, the more I do something, the better I get at it, right? So if it takes me 30 people to talk to, and I do that on a consistent basis, my success choice is today I wake up, I'm talking to 30 people. Eventually, I'll only need to talk to 20 people. Eventually, I'll only need to talk to 10 people. But the only way that happens is if I wake up every day and say, you know what? My choice is I'm talking to the amount of people I need to talk to. So I need to know what my number is. How many people do I need to talk to get a deal? Then I need to make a commitment to do that.
I got to say, I love that. I've done some coaching with some sales guys and they didn't want to commit to a number. And I'm like, then you're not really committed to success.
You're not.
If you're not going to track that number, then, just go home.
Cindy, I think that's one of the failure points, right? We all focus on how much we need to make and then my marketing plan and all this, right? And, we get sold marketing plans and lead plans. The reality is a lot of it, like I said, it's direct daily action items, right? How am I reaching out to people consistently, take that business plan and put it into play. And that's really the key to success for any sales professional, especially on the real estate side. And we're talking about it, right? It's a commitment. Nitesh?
Yeah, and Cindy, you said it right. Some folks don't want to give you that number. They don't want to commit to that number. Well, that's what success is. It is a commitment. And you brought this up earlier. What is January 10th? Well, 1st of January, everybody makes a New Year's resolution, and by January 10th, everyone forgets their New Year's resolution. Right? They've given up on it. So you're exactly right. By the second week of January, people have given up. So what are you doing? Are you giving up, or do you still continue? Are you following through with that resolution or with that plan that you have? Babies learn to walk, and while they're learning to walk, every 2 seconds they're falling, right? But they don't stay down and continue crawling. Because if they did, as adults, we would all be crawling around. We wouldn't be walking around, right? When you're babies, you have to learn. You need to get from point A to point B, and you realize, well, crawling is going to get me there, in this much time. But I see everyone around me walking. Maybe that's faster. So they're going to continue getting up and try to walk, and eventually they succeed. Are you doing that same thing? Are you continuing to get back up when you fall and stick to that plan that you have? It does take time, and it takes multiple attempts to get you there. Accountability creates commitment. There's no abiding success without commitment.
Nitesh makes a great point, Cindy. If we all had to learn to walk as adults, we'd all still be crawling, right? Because this is what happens, right? Adults were conditioned to quit, right? So we got up, we took a couple steps, we fell down. We got up, we took a couple steps, fell down. Now forget it. I can get there faster crawling, right? As kids, we don't have that, right? We have that commitment on our own because that's what we're looking to do. Thank God we learned to walk as kids, because adults, we'd all give up. Well, it's the same thing that happens in the sales process. Well, I called people for 3 consecutive days and nothing happened. This isn't going to work. Okay, well, it didn't work. You just quit. Right. So that's what happens. Like January 10th, you go to the gym on January 1st, it's packed. By January 11th, it is empty. Right. So success takes commitment. There is no success without commitment. And you know what? Some people's success happens faster. That's okay. You just have to stay at it.
There's another reference to children, that's that negative self-talk that we get when things don't succeed. Right. And
yeah.
Oh, that call went really bad. We start beating ourselves up. When you have a toddler that's learning to walk, a baby that's learning to walk, and they fall down, you don't go, "Oh, you stupid child, you're never going to walk," right? You say, "Get back up." And so, if
being the bad parent I was, my kids would hit their head on the coffee table. I'm like, get up. You'll be fine, right?
It's all good. It's all good.
What you just said about negative self-talk, Cindy, is exactly what this next slide is about. It's all about positive self-talk. If you believe you're going to be successful, you will be successful. And this is a simple analogy. Obviously, the characters in The Wizard of Oz, they all believed that if they went on this journey on the yellow brick road, they would be granted these qualities that they wanted. Scarecrow wanted a heart, Tin Man wanted to be intelligent, and the Lion wanted to be brave. And by the time they got to the Wizard, they had become all of those things, and they found out the Wizard could not give them those things. They had just become them together as a team on this journey. And that's what your success plan is. It's your yellow brick road. And if you go on this journey, you're not going to get granted success at the end of the journey by, a magical wizard. You're just going to become more successful every day as you go on this journey, especially if you do it with a team. The only recipe is hard work, persistence, and belief.
So, Cindy, this is actually one of the most endearing stories, right, in American culture. But what's hidden is Jack's message, right? So there is a belief system in success, and everybody that joins us on this call has to have that. And to Jack's point, right, the Scarecrow wanted a brain, Tin Man wanted a heart, Lion wanted courage, and they were waiting for the Wizard to give them. The reality is, as Jack said, during the journey, we found out, wait a minute, the Scarecrow solved everything. Right. The Tin Man kept rusting because he was crying. Right. Dorothy, like, don't cry, don't cry. So they get there. What did the Wizard give them? Did he give the Scarecrow a brain? Nope. He gave him a diploma. Right. Scarecrow already had it. He was already the smartest guy, but he didn't believe it. So the Tin Man the Wizard gave him a diploma. All of a sudden, he's smart. What changed? His belief changed. Same thing with the Tin Man. He didn't give the Tin Man a heart. He gave the Tin Man a clock so that he could hear the heart beating. All of a sudden, the Tin Man believed he had a heart. Same thing with the Lion. He just got a medal, right? So why is that important to us on the sales side is, what do you believe? Do I believe I'm going to be successful? Because if I don't believe that, then the things we're asking you to do every day get difficult, right? You have to believe that. That's one of the underlying success components of every sales professional. Is every day I wake up, I'm the best to provide that service to my clients. It's a great time to buy real estate, and I'm the best one to give them that service. If I don't believe that, then being successful becomes more difficult.
100%.
Yep.
These right here, these are all the elements of your success plan. And some of them fall under business plan too, which is then under your success plan. I'm not going to be able to go over every one in great detail, and they're listed in no particular order of importance. But I think time management is probably up there of the utmost importance. You know, how are you going to hit your numbers, not just sales numbers, but like Brett mentioned earlier, how are you going to hit the number of contacts that you want to have every day, the number of calls or emails that you want to have every day if your time is not managed on a daily and weekly basis. Another very important point here is, how are you getting leads through marketing, branding, et cetera. And we actually, we have a program now, FDM does, to give leads to Downing-Frye realtors. So that's something we can go into detail at a later point. But these are essentially all the elements bullet pointed of your success planning that you want to have hammered out in great detail.
Yeah, I think this is important, Cindy, right? Because a lot of times as agents, right, or even in the loan profession, right, sometimes we're in business for yourself, right? You're driving your business, you're building your real estate business, but you're not by yourself, right? You're driving your business, but you've got this great team with Downing-Frye. You've got this great team with the title partner and the lending partner to help you get success, right? So leverage the tools that Downing-Frye provides for you, and then leverage your teammates to help you be successful, right? Do you need to work with FSBOs or short sales or foreclosures? How do you do that, right? Leverage the people around you, right? I'm in business to build my business, but I'm not by myself. And that's an important component of the team that Downing-Frye has put together. Everybody wants to have that shared commitment and shared path to success. Oops, sorry. Here's one of the things I live by, and we share this, and I believe this, and this is why I talk to everybody and drive my kids crazy. Dad, do you really have to talk to everybody in the car wash? Yes, I do. Every prospect is a deal for someone at some point. The question is for who and for when. What does this tell me? Is that at some point in time, everybody's going to buy and sell a house, right? So when I have to make these contacts a day, it's okay, because why? Every single person's a prospect. So why shouldn't I talk to them, right? Why shouldn't I text them an email, right? So if we understand this, everybody I meet's an opportunity, and that's kind of what we want to talk about as we move forward.
All right. So obviously there's steps that we can take to increase our chances of being successful. But before I go into this, one of the things that I wanted to mention and let everybody know is we all got into this industry for two reasons, whether you're an agent or you're a mortgage broker. One of them is being the amount of money that we can make, so financial security, and two, the amount of time that this business gives us to balance that work-life schedule. So with that being said, part of being successful is figuring out what people are doing and almost doing it better or more than they are. So as an agent or a loan officer, we have the ability to get up and start our business at whatever time we want. And there's a great interview on YouTube with the late Kobe Bryant that he goes over why he's more successful than anybody else in the NBA. It's because he wanted it more. When other basketball players were out there at the gym and they wake up at 10, they go to the gym 10:30 to 1:30, then they go to lunch, then they'd be back at the gym by 2:30 till 4:30. Kobe was up at 4 in the morning, going from 4 to 9. Then he'd come home and have breakfast. Then he was at the gym again with everybody else from 10:30 to 11:30. And then he went home and had lunch. And then he was back at the gym from 1:30 to 4:30. Everybody else went home, relaxed, showered. Kobe went home, ate, and then went back to the gym. So by the time everybody else had 2 practice sessions, Kobe already had 4. Same thing as an agent and same thing as a loan officer. It doesn't matter what industry we're in. Success is your commitment and your belief that you're going to do it better and faster and harder than anybody else. So if you wake up in the morning and you implement these plans, but instead of waking up at 10, going to the office 10:30, 11, like most agents fall into that trap, Be that one different agent that goes into the office at 8. Start planning your day at 8. Write down everything you want to accomplish in that day. Do your 30-day power of 3, which is basically, who are you going to call? There's a one thing that I go into, which is called win the day, where, I do 5 check-in calls with my current clients. I do 5, personal notes to my previous clients, thanking them for the business, and then implementing one of the things that we're talking about, which is asking for referrals. And in that, thanking them for the business, seeing how they're doing, I'm asking them right then and there, who else do you know that I can help and provide the service that I gave you that helped you get into your house, right? You want to implement these things, but you want to do it differently than most other people do. Wake up early, contact your past clients, your referral clients. Another great idea for agents is one that's implemented by us here in the mortgage industry. We take you guys out to, have coffee or lunch, as a way of, getting to know you, as a way of seeing how we can better help your business plan, and earning the right to be a business partner with you. Your clients are your business partners. Take your best client out to lunch. Take your best client out to coffee. Get to know them on a social level, on a personal level, and they'll be your client and your referral partner for life, right? Customer service is another thing. One of the things that I've learned is that I'm in the industry of customer service. It just so happens that the end result is a sale. Same as realtors. You're in the business of customer service, right? It just so happens that at the end of that great service is a closed deal and another client your way, right? And then learn when to ask for those referrals. That's another key important part. You don't want to ask for a referral when the appraisal comes back and it's $30,000 under, the offer price, right? That's not a real good time to ask, because everybody's freaking out. What happens? What do we do? Is the seller going to go ahead and reduce it? Do I have to bring that money in? No, you want to ask it in opportune times of excitement, when the client's excited. Ask them for a referral when they get their contract accepted. Ask them for the referral when, they put in an offer on a house for $250 and it appraised at $280. Ask them for a referral when they get the keys in their hand. Ask them for a referral when they first walk in through the door and you present them with their closing gift. Those are the opportune times to ask for referrals. And then don't be afraid of failure or no's. No's and failures for me are exciting. When I get a no, I know I'm that much closer to a yes. It's a numbers game. All it is a number game. When you commit yourself to just cranking out the numbers and doing the same thing day in and day out and over and over and over, success no longer is hard work. Success is no longer something you have to put effort in. It becomes a habit, and all it becomes a way of life. And then at that point, the sky's the limit. There's a great saying about how high is high. You'll never know if you don't push yourself to that limit. And most people are not afraid of success. They're afraid of, once they are successful and everybody knows it, that they have to continue to be successful, because they don't want to be a one-hit wonder. You're not afraid of making $150,000. You're afraid of what happens in the accountability that you get once you make that $150,000 a year, right? How do you take care of that? Well, part of it here is create a team. Challenge not only yourself, but challenge someone in the office with you. Try to, work as contact sport. Success is a contact sport. Sales is a contact sport, right? So one of the things, if you've ever played a game, you always had somebody in there that you'd always compete against. Find that person in the office and then hold each other accountable, because that creates not only a successful environment, a successful team, but it makes it fun, right? We got to do something to make things fun, because, cranking out calls every day and, trying to do, mailers every day, it's redundant. It gets boring at times. Make it a game. Make it fun. Do something to make it exciting. Compete with somebody. Outperform somebody. Say, hey, today's goal is 100. First one to 100 buys the other, gets lunch from the other person. Come up with different ideas to make the boring parts more enjoyable.
So, gamification. Don't forget your coffee.
Yeah, don't forget your coffee. So, what we want to do, Cindy, is, the people that joined us today, we want to put together a 30-day challenge, right? Make it fun. Now, why do you take 30 days? What happens if you do something consistently for 30 days?
Becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit, right? That's a well-known psychological fact. Do something consistently every day for 30 days. It becomes a habit. So we want to help people create a habit that's going to change your life. Like Javier just said, every day, and it's not hard, right? I'm going to contact 3 past clients. And, I hope everybody will join us for our referral class, because as Javier shared with you, we're going to show you how and when to ask. So I'm going to contact 3 past clients. I'm going to contact 3 past prospects, right? We have a lot of people in 2020 and 21 that didn't get to buy a house because they were priced out of the market. They had challenged credit. They didn't have the cash. The sellers wouldn't negotiate. You know what? As the market normalizes, these people are going to come back into the market. Let's reach back out to these folks and see where they are in the process. Ask referrals 3 times on every transaction. And when they join us for the referral class, we're going to show them when and how to do that, because it'll make a difference. Again, like Javier said, be bold, don't judge, just ask. No doesn't hurt. Right? I got married, which means I asked a gazillion girls out. They all said no. Eventually somebody said yes. And she was foolish enough to marry me, right? But I powered through no. I got it there, right? So at the end of 30 days, you'll elevate your business if you take that first step. So we do know this, right? You have a business plan. As a success plan, though, I need to change that into direct daily action, right? What am I doing each day to do that? We want to start 22 the right way. And that leaves us with the final thought, which is really interesting. Is if you look at the paragraph in red, most real estate agents fail in their first year in large part because they simply don't believe that they can succeed, right? So what do we talk about, right? Believing that you can succeed, right? That lack of belief and the high attrition rate reinforces that. It leads them to stop doing the things they need to be successful. What does that speak to? It speaks to commitment, right? You have to do these things every day. No, I don't care if you've been touched by the sales god. If I make 5 phone calls, 5 people are going to say, yes, I want to do business with you right away, right? You have to make that commitment. Repeated direct action in the areas we discussed is the best way for a real estate agent to ensure success. That just reinforces everything we talked about, right? And what's really interesting, Robert Collar, who's a very famous author, said this: success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. It's not this sophisticated plan. It's not I have to have this huge lead budget. It's not any of those things. It's the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out is exactly what we talked about today, right? It tells us how to be successful. All we have to do is make the choice to do it, have that commitment to do it each and every day, and follow through, and we'll make a difference, and your life can be changed, and you will be successful in this business.
I love it. I love it. Quick clarification. Did you say you've got a referrals class on the calendar?
We do, right? We have a referral class as a follow-up to this one, right? The referral class is how do I get referrals? Actually, I used to call this how never to buy a lead again, right? But we're going to call it about how do you create referrals? As Javier said, right? We know how, we know when, we just don't do it. And that's the next class we want to share with everybody.
That's fantastic. Well, I'm sure everyone will be waiting with bated breath, because this is very invigorating. I love the 30-day challenge, gentlemen. I'm gonna take that on myself and encourage all of our agents to get on board with that as well. Hey, let's flip back to that slide just so we can recap that.
Sure.
So 30 days, power of 3, and you're going to contact 3 past clients, contact 3 past prospects, and ask for referrals 3 times on every transaction.
Now, if you want to kick it up a notch, like Emerald says, contact 5 people every day, right? What's your number? If you have the ability to do that, 3 is the minimum, right? But you can take it up to the next lock, right? It doesn't take a lot of time to do this. You think about this, Cindy, right? How long does it take me to send 3 texts?
Not too long.
There you go. And let's say this takes me an hour. What am I doing with the other 23 hours of my day, right? That's one of the time sucks we have. Everybody says, well, I don't have enough time. Did you really work all 24 hours? I don't think so, right? You can get up earlier, like Javier said. I can send my emails and text early in the morning. I can send them late at night, right? I can take the kids to school. I can get sick. I can do whatever, but I can still get these things done every day, right? Everything becomes excuses on why I'm not going to be successful. We want people to make choices on why they're going to be successful, and that's the point of differentiation.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic advice, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to talk to you. So we will wrap up today's show, and look forward to seeing everyone again next week.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for FDM Brews. Our team is here to answer your questions. Just call 239-359-6590 or email us at dfry@fdmhome.com.